Hi, I'm Ned Spiller. Welcome to the Danby Ludlow and Springfield Railroad. The DL&S is a fictitious railroad located in Vermont in 1954. It's freelanced, but since it's located in the area that was served by the Rutland Railroad's Bellows Falls subdivision, it's influenced by the Rutland and the Boston and Maine. I chose the name and location while I still lived on Long Island in the late 1960s. In 1970, I moved to Vermont to work for an independent phone company as a switchman, where I maintained the central offices in 8 towns. One of them was Danby, and Springfield was our state headquarters. The towns on my layout are all named after real towns, although I've rearranged the geography. I haven't tried to model specific locations, but some of the industries are named after real ones, and some of the structures are based on real ones in the area. Working in the phone business, first as a switchman and later in the engineering department, I was able to get some of the old equipment and cables as we modernized our offices. The layout uses 48-volt relays for switch machines, some from the Danby Central office. I used a power supply that came from the Howard Johnson's Motel in Springfield when we converted them to a dial system. The layout is compact, so I typically run 8-car trains and mostly 40-foot freight cars and 60-foot passenger cars. Springfield is the largest town on the layout. It has a small business district, a compact classification yard, and an engine terminal. The engine terminal has facilities to service steam or diesel locomotives. The turntable and roundhouse are scratch-built. The coal tower is scratch-built based on the tower in the B&M's North Walpole Yard, the original site of Steamtown. The track plan is basically a loop-to-loop with 3 tracks at the west loop. The 2 loops are connected with additional staging tracks, so stage trains can run in a circle either east or west. This panel shows the hidden tracks. The lights indicate where trains are parked. There's also a branch line to the quarry and the calcite mine, and a stub-ended line to the South Rutland Industrial District. The ball signal is a model of the signal shared by the Rutland and B&M in Bellows Falls, Vermont. It was in service until the Rutland shut down in 1963, so it's correct for the period I model. While it's called a ball signal, it actually used cylinders in the day and lanterns at night. Like the real one, my model can show from 0 to 3 balls. Here I have a situation with the lower track on an inside corner. This can be hard to scenic. I already have too many tunnels for Vermont, so I thought I'd try double decking this area. The platform above is made like a hollow core door, and it's even removable. The space here is only 7 inches high, but I think it works well. I didn't want to block the view of the train, so I decided to model a hayfield. The scene is based on childhood memories of my uncle's farm, not far from here. This layout has been moved twice. I originally built it when I lived in Atlanta between 1986 and 97. I designed it to be transportable and kept it relatively small, 10 by 20 feet. It was built in 6 sections using open grid benchwork. The largest sections were 8 foot by 30 inches. The wiring for each section and the master control panel was done with 50 pair plug-ended cables. I had all the track work done and about half the scenery when the layout was on tour for the 1995 NMRA National Convention. In 1997, I transferred to Dallas. I crated up each section using plywood. The open grid frame became the base. The layout spent 6 months in the crawl space under a friend's house in Atlanta, then 2 years in a friend's garage in Dallas before I bought a house with space for it. It was open for a couple of regional conventions and local shows there. The layout was almost complete when we decided to move to Hammondsport, New York in 2006. Our house here had an unfinished basement garage big enough for the layout. The layout got stored in there our first winter here, then spent its second winter in a shed while I converted the space to my train room. I converted the layout to DCC while I was able to set the sections on their back and work standing up. I was able to expand the layout by splicing in a 15-foot section, which gave me about 45 feet of additional main line and an additional town with the passing siding and industries. I built individual control panels to replace the one large panel and redid all the electronics for the layout. Between building the train room and getting the layout back together, it took about 3 years before I could start operations. The South Rutland Industrial District is the newest addition to the layout. As I got more people wanting to operate, I needed more for them to do, and I had all this wasted space in the middle of the room. I tell people this is the most expensive part of the layout because I had to buy my wife Carolyn a new kitchen so I could have the old cabinets for a base. They provide much needed storage. The table is a 32-inch hollow core door plus another section made like a hollow core door. The whole thing is covered with Homosote. On this section, I used Pico turnouts, all hand thrown. Most of the structures are either scratch built or kit bashed to fit the space. There are still a few temporary placeholders. On the older part of the layout, most of the industries are named after real businesses in Vermont. On the new section, most of the industries are named after grandchildren or great-grandchildren. This is a popular job for my operators who like switching. It can keep a couple of guys entertained for an hour and a half or two.